It always sounds so beautiful.
The beers are poured. The boys are back. Let's get to it.
Second episode this week, guys.
Match day 13. We are just trying to pump out some great conversation for you to listen to because, if you're working from home, you're something to listen to. And if you're driving to work, still something to listen to.
That's not cool at all.
And if you're just bored, we're also something to listen to.
Does that sound cool?
No, stop pissing. So we're back quickly.
Guys,
this is a big
They didn't catch it.
This is a big turnaround here. We just had a whole week of games. We had a whole 2 days of games now.
And then guess what?
Yeah.
3 days of games.
And then guess what? In another day or two, we're gonna have
More games.
more games.
Dude, I understand like Klopp and all them now saying like
Why they're
players
so
don't get enough
pissed.
rest. I feel I
I
need
need
some
rest.
rest in between too. I don't have time to watch all these games.
Our brilliant minds can only handle so much and come up with
Yeah.
so much conversation so quickly.
So we feel you, Klopp.
So we get
Ole.
it.
Ole.
We get it.
you
We get
guys.
it. I mean,
This is obviously as physically demanding.
It affects us just as much as the players. I mean,
Right,
come on.
exactly. This is as physically demanding as playing, and you
Yeah.
can't tell me otherwise.
I would argue more
More demanding, right?
more demanding, guys.
I mean, we're burning a mental sweat too.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. Here we go.
going.
Match day 13.
13. Here we go. Let's start us off.
By the way, we're officially over a third of the way through the season.
That's crazy. I feel like you
That's
just
scary.
started.
Yeah.
That's nuts. All right, let's get started. Chelsea at Wolves.
What a game.
Very good game. Probably a result nobody expected.
Really good game.
Wolves win this one 2-1, but I feel like, honestly, it was dead even the entire. I feel like this could have went either way. In the beginning, going into this game, I thought, okay, Chelsea should win this game, but then from the minute this game kicked off, Wolves just seemed like they were up for it. They just seemed ready to go.
My biggest issue with this game that I thought was kind of a weird, Pulisic starts, which not weird. That's not weird at all. But Chelsea seemed to force the ball to his side of the field so often that Reece James, who's been incredible for them, going forward, playing balls in, pinging in crosses, was literally a ghost in the first 30 minutes of this game because everything was down the left side.
Could that have been why?
That's what I'm saying.
Because they go to Reece James so much. Pulisic kind of just coming back off that injury. They figured, all right, they're not going to go to him, consistently as they should.
And don't get me wrong, Semedo's on the right side.
I was just gonna say you have to look at the matchup too. So Lampard might be thinking Semedo made a mistake in the last game, and which led to did he get a red or it led to the PK?
The PK at the end.
And Pulisic is quick and changed direction quick. So
I say for his first game starting, right, his first game back starting in the Premier League since injury, he played extremely well. I think a few games before his injury, he was always pretty good, always pretty quick. But this is a Pulisic I haven't seen in a while, I feel like, even when he was completely healthy. He just seemed to be quicker off the ball. He was making these 1-2 passes, and then he wasn't afraid to take players on. Sometimes you would see him kind of take 1 or 2 touches, kind of pull back, and then make the pass. But he wasn't afraid to take players on and just try and drive balls into the box, which, as a U.S. fan supporter, it was nice to see him do that. Again, don't like Chelsea, but whenever it's a U.S. guy playing, it's really nice to see that.
Dan, you're gonna say something?
no, I was gonna move on to the next goal or the first goal of the game,
Oh.
Yeah.
which the guy we've been hyping up the last couple of weeks,
Olivier.
replacing Tammy Abraham, still keeping his spot in the starting
And
11.
rightly so. He deserved to replace
I mean,
him.
he's scoring. You can't take the guy out while he's scoring almost every game.
Yeah,
Let's-
you got to ride the hot hand.
Yeah, I mean, the fans would have an uproar. I mean,
Yeah,
if he keeps scoring,
really interesting goal too. Really nice goal, but
Great.
interesting.
yeah. I don't think he means to go near post there, but he does, and it works.
He managed
how
to-
he flicked that on.
The ball's coming in from the left hand side. He manages to get his foot around the defender and almost toe poke into the back of the net. It's crazy.
He reaches around the defender, who looks like he should 100% get there first every time,
Yeah,
and doesn't clearly.
And the ball comes in by another player who, when we did our top outside backs, when we did our best 11 so far, another guy who's been in the mix at left back, Ben Chilwell. I mean,
Which we got a lot of crap about, by the way.
Yeah,
Let me put that out there.
and maybe we deserved it.
Yeah.
After this, kind of proved us wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's a good ball in. I mean, that's what you're from that position. That's what you're taught to do. Drive the ball across, low and hard. At that point, when you hit it with that pace, if it hits pretty much anything, defender, maybe it hits the keeper, it's going to go right in front or it could deflect in. And in this case, all Drew had to do was just get a touch on it. And so I don't know how it got through the keeper. They went to goal line technology.
Just not expecting it. Yeah, I don't know.
What, centimeters over that line?
It was probably an inch. I would say it was an inch.
nuts.
Or I don't know what that is in millimeters if you listen in England, but whatever
sorry,
an
we
inch
have
is,
no clue.
that's the comparison. I would say 12 centimeters. I don't know if that's the
Fuck
close.
the metric system.
That was just rude.
But yeah, if he,
No, it makes more sense.
Yeah, but to be
People are
honest,
thinking about it. We're
who-
idiots for using.
Yeah, we're the only assholes that use a
not
totally
using it.
different system.
but if Patricio keeps that out though, that's a phenomenal save.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you're
it's a
not ready for
reaction
that.
from 6 yards out.
In the beginning, I thought he did, and even when they kind of showed, the goal line angle of it, I was like, "There's no way that's in." And then you go to goal line technology, I'm like, "Oh shit, that's somehow snuck in. Like, how did that work?"
My biggest issue with Chelsea in this game, who ends up losing, but we'll get there, is there was so much success with Pulisic on the left side going against Semedo, and for some reason, at some point in the game, they were like, "Nope, let's switch him." Like, I don't know, like Werner went to the left, Pulisic went to the right. Like, you have so much success, you created so many chances on the left side of the field in the first half of the game, and then you're just like, nah, this is working too well. Let's flip him to the other side. And Werner had a disaster class of a performance.
Yeah, he did not look
He's
good.
very. I don't know. He's
Disaster class of a performance.
not playing great right now.
That is 100%.
And
not
speaking
great.
of players
True.
not playing great. Another,
Havertz.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I'm saying another player who still is yet to show up for this Chelsea.
Do you think
team
that's
is
why they
Havertz.
switched the sides so like both of them weren't on the same side of the field?
Could be.
I don't know. It's.
I don't know. I mean, we're looking at the lineup right here, and that right side, besides Reece James, is pretty bad.
I mean,
Don't get me. Oh, you. Okay, you can't say the right side is bad. I
and
mean,
then there's only 3 players and you list out 1, so 2
don't get me
players.
wrong. They're not playing great right now. They're not living
this
up to
game, I should
expectations.
say.
But these guys are still class
In
players.
this game,
Yeah.
they were not
Oh.
good.
No,
is
I
what-
got you.
I mean,
got you.
Werner looked like he didn't know every time the ball came to him what to do.
Yeah.
It was just out of place.
He's just a very direct player, and I feel like Chelsea likes to play more of a like give and go 1-2
Down
kinda,
the wing and like
yeah.
play it that way. I mean, you've seen him in like direct situations where like it was 2 weeks ago or last week when he
takes off
and then plays the ball to Pulisic and they score. I mean, that's how he wants to play. That's just not how Lampard has them playing.
yeah.
So let's give Wolves some credit.
Yeah,
They end up winning this game.
So 1-0 Chelsea. Wolves get back into it. Was
A
it
very nice goal, by the way.
Yeah.
Very nice goal.
Daniel Foden's. This guy.
Short
He's
guy.
a great player.
This guy. Short guy.
Short guy. 5'5" and under is 100% short. Just saying.
Says the 5'6" guy.
That's right,
God.
baby. I'd take every centimeter.
Centimeter
For you metric system people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's how they measure in centimeters. What
I
do you
know.
want?
I know.
Well, I said 7.5. Whatever.
But
Moving
great
on.
goal. He's on the left side of like the 18, a little bit inside, and just is in the box. It looks like he takes a touch, boom, beds it, curls it, goal.
Was it deflected or no? I can't remember.
I think it hits
was
off
close.
of James's
Yeah.
back leg or something like that.
Yeah.
He like stretched to reach,
Mendy couldn't really do much with
and
it.
it just hits wrong. Yeah, I mean
the positioning where that ball went is tough enough, but you're Mendy there. As soon as that ball is leaving his foot, you're reacting to it, and even if it leaves his foot and like half a second later it deflects, you're immediately at a disadvantage.
Yeah,
I mean that
100%.
half a second throws you off so much. Like I said, there's absolutely nothing he could do about that. It's a great play by Semedo to get the shot away.
Podence.
What did I say, Semedo?
Semedo.
Losing my mind.
Yep.
It's a great play by Podence to get the shot away.
Right.
But either, I mean, you can't score if you don't put the ball on that. So I mean, it's good for him putting the shot on, and Mendy, you got nothing he could do at all.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea pretty much presses from the 67th, 68th minute on to try and score a winner.
You know who's really good in this game for Chelsea?
Who?
Conte.
He looks good in he's just a solid
He
player.
was
Such a good
He's
player.
not fancy. He's not like flashy.
the amount of
The
times,
dude will run for days.
Yeah, he's just a
The amount
solid
of times
player.
I saw Chelsea go forward, either it was a corner, a set piece, or them just putting the ball in the box, and he was kind of at the edge of the box, and then Wolves went to counter, and he tracked all the way back, and he was the one to break up the counterattack.
Oh, yeah.
It happened like 4 or 5 times in the span of like 20 minutes, and I never really, like you said, you never really notice him that much because he does all the little things. He just works hard. He's not scoring. He's not getting all his assists, and
I mean, before Lampard got there, he won a World Cup, and their old coach was like, I don't think he's good enough.
He won 2 Premier League titles and then a World Cup, and then
he's-
put him
Was
got
it
played in the
Sarri?
wrong position.
Was it
Yeah.
Sorry was
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, he's not good enough to play this position.
it took for that 20
No,
minutes.
Jorginho is though.
Yeah, right. It took the 20 minutes of watching him do that and just track back and break up these counterattacks to be like, holy shit! Like, you actually notice this guy. Like, you don't really notice him a lot, but when you really do think about it, he runs that midfield for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
That's why he's-
crazy. I thought he had a great game.
That's
He
why
just like
he's
kind of
incredible.
glides when he runs. I feel like
Just floats. His feet never actually touch
Yeah,
the
no,
ground.
touch
he's
the
He's
just
just
like
floating around the field.
yeah.
So like we said, Chelsea pushes pretty much everything forward. I mean, they did control the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes of this game. But what happens is when you push everyone forward, you open yourself up to a counterattack.
And that's exactly what Wolves did.
Exhibit A.
I was saying, we were watching this game, and my biggest thing was the Wolves player here, the defender, shout out to him because they were under constant pressure, and the ball comes out to him, and instead of just clearing the ball to nowhere, actually picks out a pass in the midfield. Midfielder plays up to the forward runs down the field and scores. I mean, that could have gone so differently if he panics, but he was so composed under pressure there. Found their pass, bam, leads to a goal.
That forward being Pedro Neto, of course.
Yeah,
And this
Pedro
dude's
Neto.
on a tear recently.
Yeah, he's so good, and he's young.
Yeah, he's
Even a few
so
minutes
good.
before this, he went. I think it was 84th minute, 80th minute, where it was. He was in the box and he went down, and the PK wasn't given.
Oh, so he dove.
He dove completely.
yeah,
but
100%.
he was very, very animated that he was touched.
Yeah.
Freaking out, screaming. And then
It was kinda
pretty much
confusing.
last kick of the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
He winds up getting the goal.
there's acting like you got hit, and then once they call it, it's like, oh, okay. Like they act like they looked at it, didn't call it, and he was just so
Very
adamant.
animated, yeah.
And you could see from like 3 different angles, like it was James that was defending, but like did not touch him. Like
Yeah.
there was zero contact.
It's like he stepped on his foot, if anything.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just.
But
But
But Chelsea dropped points.
great.
Yeah, again, a
good
game
win
that-
for them.
Great win for Wolves. Yeah.
a game that I thought Chelsea would have dominated. Wolves came out and completely shut me up.
It's been a lot of weird games this week.
So good on Wolves. Anything else we have to touch on in this one, or moving on?
Nah, it's
Now we can move on.
All right, let's move on. Garrett, your Manchester City team ties 1-1 at
Yeah.
home to West Brom. How are we feeling? What's the thought process here?
I mean, like, I don't even know like what to say anymore at this point.
I feel like you sound like Dan.
Well,
Oh,
it's-
he's nowhere near
No,
me.
I know.
No one's nowhere near you,
no,
dude.
if
Nobody's
I was
nowhere
like
near you.
Dan, we would have lost to West Brom. I mean, this is the problem. It's
And
like,
got a red card. Sorry.
Right, 100%. Of course, that's a mainstay in Arsenal's tactics now. I mean,
Oh, we'll get to
you
that.
watch this game. Gundogan scores a goal. It was great. Dribble down the right
great
side,
play.
cut back, score, finish. Great goal. I think Sterling assists. It happened a couple times in the game where they had the opportunity. But, so they score the one. They miss a couple of chances. It's fine. Right before halftime, of course, West Brom comes down the field. I mean, I'll give West Brom some credit, though. In the beginning of this game, like, they didn't just sit back like 99% of the teams do against them. They actually pressured for at least the first few minutes to say, like, hey, we're here. We're not just going to take 45 minutes straight of constant pressure. But eventually City comes into their game. They gain possession. They move the ball like they normally do. The possession in this game ends up being 78 to
Yeah,
22.
nuts.
But, so of course, West Brom comes down the field towards the end of the first half. Bad deflection. Ruben Diaz off and goal. And it's like, well, shit, right? Because why wouldn't it go in, right? Because I just needed that in my day. And then the second half is, I don't think West Brom crosses midfield
They don't.
in the entire second half of this game.
Okay.
And that might not even be an exaggeration. Like, they might not have crossed half field. But we can't score. This is the same theme every single week. Can't score the goal.
Watching this game, and it reminded me of one of the games today, the
Villa game?
Burnley game, which we'll get into too.
Yeah.
The amount of chances City had, they just didn't take advantage of it. Whether a defender threw themselves in front, or they're top of the 18 and they're bombing the ball 20 yards over. Like, who do you think? I mean, and Aguero starts this game.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. I'm sorry, he comes on late in this game.
Right.
My bad. I mean,
And
He's
like,
back, though, which is good.
He's, yeah. But the one thing is, okay, hear me out. If he's on the bench in this game, why is he coming on in like the 78th minute?
so when did he? Come
Like,
on?
give him a little more. I think it was like 70
76,
something,
yeah,
76
for
minutes.
Foden.
Give him a little more time at this point. Also, De Bruyne in this game didn't play great. Like, I'm not gonna just be like pretending he was incredible. He doesn't. But he created 2 chances on whipped balls in where he had 2 players miss wide open headers on the 6. I mean, you can only do so much and give your team so many chances. They have to eventually score.
Yeah.
Like, again, people are like, oh, his stats this year aren't as good. Yeah, you know why? Because every time he puts a ball to his player, they miss.
Aguero's not there.
Right, like, I think it was Jesus had one, missed it. Gundogan, header right at the keeper from point blank range. That he sent 2 beautiful balls
I was
in.
just gonna say, you want who's really not that good? Gabriel Jesus.
I feel bad because he just can't finish. I don't like. It's just he's not a bad player. Like, he probably plays for a lot of teams in the Premier League if he goes somewhere else. He can't finish right now. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I do want to say too,
I think he would perform better in a team where everyone doesn't just sit back against them. You know what I mean? Like every team City plays sits 10 deep.
Yeah.
Like I think he would have a better time at a team where it's more of an even game and he can kind of get some more space. Where he doesn't have 4 guys around him at all times.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the problem. But
Do you think he's not good at making like the diagonal runs and like that kind of play?
I just think
Or,
his
like-
awareness of like where the ball's gonna be when it gets played in, or like kind of like how we talked last week, how like Salah has that instinct of like when a defender, you know what I mean? Like you could see the bad touch coming, kind of.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think he's there.
How old is he?
He's still pretty young, but he's
Younger.
been
I
there
would say he's
for
like
younger
26 or
years.
something.
no,
Older?
no
I
younger.
was younger.
20.
Let's see what we got.
Oh, I should probably type in age, huh?
Yeah, you should probably do
I
that.
was only 23. Okay, so that's not that
Okay,
bad.
yeah.
And he was like, I think they found him like in the streets of like Brazil and like had right and like
Yeah,
it's-
that's like one of the cool stories.
yeah, I can't remember the entire story, but like someone just saw him kicking around. I don't even know if it was probably a soccer ball or some kind of
I
ball.
don't know if it was some type
Well, it
of
could
ball.
be like I don't know, whatever they have over there. What?
Whatever they have over there.
Some people aren't lucky enough to have soccer balls and stuff
Well,
to
the way
play with.
you always say whatever they have over there was being like, Brazil doesn't have soccer balls. They have something different.
Not everyone does.
Oh yeah, not everyone.
But you know what I'm saying, the way you said it.
Well, I'm sorry if it sounded bad, but I'm just telling you
It sounded
what
bad.
happened.
So back to the game.
Back to the game. Listen, City, for the chances they did get on target, I do want to say Johnson had a
I was gonna say this keeper played incredible.
very good game.
Absolutely incredible.
I mean, there was times where, like we said, City would put chances over or take shots or headers right at him, but a good amount of them, he was full stretch to keep that ball out.
Yeah, I mean,
I think was it the tail end of the game.
He made
he
6
had
saves in this game,
the
and they were
tail end of
pretty
the
good
game,
saves.
He had a reaction save with like a minute left.
yeah, that was
to reserve
crazy.
a tie.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
It was
I'm not gonna
nuts.
lie. I was like so mad, but at the same time, like, damn, that was a nice save.
Yeah. So you can't take any credit from him, but said City, they bring on Aguero later than they probably should have.
And you take off Foden, like, not for nothing. That's not the move. And also, I don't understand why, like, of all players in this lineup, like, Rodri is, like, our mainstay starter. Like, he has started every single game. Like, don't get me wrong, he's okay. I guess we don't have another defensive center mid to fill in that role. I understand. Like, but of all the people to play every game, like, he would not have been my top choice. Also, Mendy should never see the field ever again. He's absolutely terrible. I'm just going to put that out there. He's absolutely terrible. Waste of space.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good take on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so City dropped points at
Sadly,
home.
yes.
Anything else about this game?
Yeah, West Brom's manager got fired this week.
Yeah. Imagine tying City and then you still get fired.
Yeah, Slaven Bilic, right?
Do you think that like their owners were kind of hoping that like they would get fucking killed just so they could fire him with like cause?
They already had the plans. Even if he won, that would have been harsh if he wins and
Then they fire him.
You're out.
Allardyce, right?
No.
No,
Slaven
no,
Bilic.
got hired.
Oh, he got hired already?
I think Allardyce got hired.
Oh, okay.
Immediately.
Yeah, like they had that shit pegged for weeks
Oh,
probably.
yeah, I thought you said he was the
It was as
manager.
he was walking out of his office door, the other guy was walking in.
Literally
his
in, yeah.
office. That's how that worked.
Damn.
All right, move on to those are Tuesday's games. Move on to Wednesday. The first
Dan.
game, Southampton won, Arsenal won. Theo Walcott in his return.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised at all. It's just, given how our season's going so far, it just makes sense that he scores.
It's fitting.
Yeah, it was really bad defending too. I think Tierney got caught in, which left Walcott literally wide open to just one-on-one with the keeper and just play it past Leno. And
Great finish though.
it was
Very
a
good
good finish. Yeah.
Little chip, little dink over the top.
I mean, that's how he scores all of his goals. Essentially, is like those kind of balls. He's good at making nice
Those
runs.
one-on-ones.
And he's quick.
Keeper.
I mean, he's
He's
always
fast,
had
very fast.
had pace.
Yeah. But it's just the same old story with this team. Like, it's the same old story. I mean, Bellerin, Xhaka weren't in, which is, it
Hopeful.
was nice, but but they still did not play great. And I knew from the beginning of the game, just watching Gabriel, he was getting into a lot of fouls early on. And, like, you could see the man or the ref was warning him, like, you got to calm down or you're going to get carded. He got yellow card in the first half. And then couple more stupid fouls later and second yellow. And I'm not going to say anything against him in this because I do think he's a great player and I do think he's still young and he's still adjusting to the league, but they did get their third red card in 3 games here, so it's like
Yeah.
New
play
tactics.
90 minutes with 11 players for once, please. And you might have a shot. Maybe that turns your season around. You finish one game with 11. I mean,
Yeah.
Aubameyang scores, breaks his drought, so that's
It's a miracle.
He broke it last week.
yeah, he did.
The one good thing you can say is like the Gabriel red card, like while it's dumb, is like at least it's 2 yellows and they're like in the game challenges.
Yeah, you're not choke
It's
slamming
not like
guy.
a choke slam
Yeah.
or a headbutt or
Yeah.
something stupid.
And you could tell like he was showing like heart and like he was like just trying to play hard for the team. And
Yeah.
I'll just say again, like the start of the first half was not great. Same thing as last week against Burnley. But the start of the second half, Aubameyang came out like he was ready to go, and like he was like running up and down the left hand side. Like Zaha was playing good. They were off to such a bright start, and then they got another red card at the same time in the game, right after they're starting to create chances and play into the game. It's like if you keep doing this, you're not going to win games. It's just not going to happen.
How do you feel about Aubameyang playing on the outside?
I don't know. It worked last year. I'll say that.
Well, it's not
He
working
played
this year.
last year, and he was second in the league in goals or something. But this year, it's not working. So, I don't know.
Like, would you rather see like Aubameyang in the middle and Lacazette on the other side, or would you not? I was curious as a fan.
Well, if
Yeah, 'cause
I
like you said, it worked last year. Do you think just teams are catching on? Like, okay, on the outside he can hurt us. Let's
Probably.
just try and keep him wide, defend him out there.
probably, but to answer your question, I would not want Lacazette in the middle. If I had another striker who was,
No, I'm saying, would you move Aubameyang in the middle and then put Lacazette on the other side?
oh, absolutely not. You can't play out wide like that. If anything,
Why not?
Lacazette will play like a more, not a center attacking mid, but like a.
Like a withdrawn forward.
Drawn forward
Why
role.
couldn't he play on the outside?
It's just doesn't fit his style of play, and he's not.
Makes sense.
He's not very good technically. Like he's not a good passer and like build up kind of player. Like he's like I don't know. I think he's supposed to be a good finisher. He's just not.
Sounds about right.
But
He used
yeah,
to be.
if we had a better striker, someone who's more consistent, more reliable, that could play down the middle, then I would say yeah, keep Aubameyang out left, and I'd be happy with it. But I don't know. But let's give credit to Southampton too. 'Cause they
yeah.
played really good in the first half, and they played pretty good the second half as well. They probably probably wanted more out of the game, being up a man for 30
I was
minutes.
gonna say, as far as the form of each team this year and their place in the standings, like you said, they were up a man for most of the second half. As far as Southampton's concerned, they dropped points here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a man up, you always expect to come out with a result, even if it's all. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's for 28 minutes of the game. I mean, that's a pretty big chunk.
one last thing I do want to mention about Walcott.
I know you're gonna say.
I saw something on Twitter. It was like, players should never celebrate against former teams that they
it's just-
respect. And it's a picture of him just running off and celebrating.
He's, like,
And,
wheeling
the
away.
The first reply was like, well, we know his respect level for Arsenal now. I'm like, yeah, well, it sounds all right.
It was so funny.
So
It was
like,
just
oh,
like
so you get for shipping them off.
Yeah, I saw the same
Funny.
thing, and it
People
was-
just go ahead.
it was just the
So
same
funny.
type of thing where it was like some reporter was like, oh, should players celebrate against their old club, and it just flips right to Walcott like running down the sideline, and it was so funny.
It's like you leave Arsenal and then you score a goal and just shit on shit on. 'Cause Giroud did the same thing too.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same old story here.
Kind of says a lot about the club as a whole there.
Something needs to change, but it's not happening.
It's not going to be Arteta, apparently. He's still on.
I mean,
They're
it's
going to
been
give him
a
at
day.
least
It's been a week.
the end
I
of the
mean,
season. I don't think they fire him early.
We'll see.
I mean, it's such a hard thing to say, like, oh, it's the manager's fault, oh, it's the player's fault. Because I think there's things that play into it both ways. Like, we're not going to get into the whole Arteta discussion again, but
No, we are not.
But I do think a lot of the problem is with the players, and until we start to change that and we start to get new players in, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
By the way, Che Adams is a stud this year. I just want to put that
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, it looks good.
Just gonna
All right.
all our Southampton fans that listen, Che Adams is a stud.
All right, you good with that? Moving on.
yep.
Yeah.
All right, which one do you have up right now?
I have this
Oh, that one first.
Okay. The other one was more exciting, so I figured
Yeah,
this one.
so Everton, Leicester at Leicester. Everton come out 2-0.
Kind of shocking, I would say.
A little bit, yeah.
Right.
I didn't think this would be the result. I honestly thought Leicester would, with the way Everton's been playing, not their best, not like they were in the very beginning of the season. I expected Leicester to come out and kind of dominate this game and have no problem winning.
Everton's gonna be the most confusing team this year. Every
Yeah,
time we're
they're-
like,
they're
they're
nuts.
great, they lose, and every time we're like, oh, they're falling out of form, they win 2 games in a row. It's like, what are we doing here?
And they beat Leicester, who's one of those teams that's
Right.
up there. So
And they just came off what? They just beat Chelsea last week. Was it Chelsea or tied Chelsea?
I think so.
Who, Leicester?
Yeah, no, Everton.
Oh. Oh.
I think they. Oh no,
Let me check.
thank you. Please.
Thanks, check.
Who did they play?
They
last?
beat Chelsea
They,
1-0.
they beat Chelsea.
There it is.
So I mean, and then we talked about them because they were just falling out of form, playing mid-level teams, not getting results, and then they come back and beat Chelsea and Leicester without James or Digne in either game.
Pretty crazy.
And
Like, what do we?
and they didn't start Bifford.
How are you supposed to like analyze this? Oh, they didn't start
Yeah,
Pickford. That's
no,
true.
Austin started, yeah. He actually played pretty well too. Not called upon as much as you'd think with Leicester going forward, but the saves he had to make. I mean, I think it was on a few shots, but he made he made some saves.
Speaking of saves, the Schmeichel non-save on
Lord.
Richarlison was pretty
Yo,
bad.
thanks for those minus fantasy points.
By the way, how about
Dumbass.
that? Just segue. That was pretty good. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, so
We're getting
the
better
shot
at this.
came from what? Maybe 20-something yards out?
It's like the top of the 18 probably.
It's low to Schmeichel's left, and the first thing he does is sort of dive backwards in a way. So he doesn't really attack the ball. He kind of just doesn't, kind of like takes his first step back, and he goes back, and as soon as it hits his hands, so he doesn't have one hand along the ground, and it kind of hits his hand, like kind of goes under and kind of around it, and as soon as he kind of looks back, you could see his face already screaming, like he knows what he just did, and that's one of the worst feelings. I swear to God, it's the worst feeling when you do the work to get to the ball, and it's a save you know you should make, and you get such a big piece of it, and you still kind of mess it up. It's an awful feeling just as you bring your head around, just watch that trickle in the back of the net. Like, that's a save, especially him, the way he's played. Like, he is a very good keeper. That's something that he has to keep out of the net.
I think he knows that too. I think,
Like I said,
like you said, he was
that's why he's
pissed as
His
soon
face,
as it happened.
as he made, like, and they showed it from the front too, as it hit his hand, immediately he knew he didn't get enough on that to make it stop behind him, put it around the post. Immediately you could see the disappointment and just how pissed off he was. So,
I mean, and we got to give credit to Everton's defense. I mean, they've held 2 shutouts against 2 pretty good teams going forward, and without their normal starting back. I mean, that Keane-Mina partnership in the middle, and then the Holgate Godfrey on the outsides has worked well for them in the last couple of weeks.
I think they're all technically like center backs too.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
they're playing out of position for
Yeah.
sure.
Maybe they're just, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to go with a more defensive heavy, lineup.
I
Well,
mean, it's working.
Mina in the air is so good.
He's so long.
I
He's
know
so long.
there was a few times where they would take it down the outside, and they tried to put a ball in, or Vardy was up top, kind of sitting on Mina, or just waiting for that ball to come over to spin off him. But not once did that ball go over Mina's head, or he misplay the header, or misplay the clearance. Like,
Ex-Barca player too.
the way he just gets his body behind the ball and just fundamentally is so good at just clearing that ball up the field. And like you said, like crosses that came in, like he just lunges at it and he's there. It's like 2 steps and he covers half the field.
And it's good because they can defend against different systems. Like that shows. Like they defended well against the Chelsea team, who's a team that plays the ball outside, gets it on their wings, sends a million balls into the middle. And they defended well against the Leicester team, who's a sit-back counter type of team as well. And they've held strong both weeks. So I mean, you got to give, like I said, we got to give credit where credit's due, and the Everton defense is stepping up as well as they can. And Everton scores a second goal, by the way, in this game.
Yeah.
are we getting back on that train?
I don't know. At this point, the train's like
This team's so
split in
goddamn confusing.
seven different
I do not
directions.
understand this team
The
at all.
caboose and the engine are in different areas. I
Stop
don't,
throwing out just train terms right now.
We had an episode where we
I
did this,
don't,
guys.
I don't know what else I got. This second goal was just kind of like a mess in the box that Holgate ends up hitting in. I think Keane heads it, comes out. Calvert-Lewin hits a shot, hits the crossbar, and Holgate
Yeah.
finishes. Like it was just kind of like a
It went
clean
like,
up the
It went
garbage.
crossbar, save, I think, and then he just put his foot through. Was
I
that?
thought it was save crossbar, and then
Yeah, it was something.
goal.
It was a scramble in front.
Kinda
Yeah.
weird.
But
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of Everton.
Dan's giving me a weird look.
Why?
No, we're good, we're
who
good.
did what?
Dan, what I
We
do?
did nothing.
No,
What
Dan,
we
say
did.
what
It
I
was
do.
a good goal.
What I do?
I didn't see it, but
I mean, it was a garbage goal. It was a cleanup goal.
Guy goes, that was a good goal. Didn't see it, but the guy goes, garbage goal. So immediately, nah, you're wrong.
Just like nah. All right.
Oh my God! He
Who did
doesn't.
it?
Oh, it's
Who did
Dan.
it?
He doesn't mute his phone like
Oh.
record. Oh no! Cut it. Start from scratch. Fix it in post.
Asshole.
I don't care. Go ahead.
Asshole.
I deserve it.
Moving on to one of the more exciting games. that we had this
Especially,
week.
I mean, if anything, the last 30 minutes were exciting.
Leeds hosting Newcastle. Leeds win 5-2.
I'm pretty sure
Now-
Leeds aren't going to win a game this year unless there's more than 5 goals scored in it.
I was gonna say we've seen Leeds at times this year. They could score.
Yep.
I mean, going forward,
Not
they're
wrong.
a threat. They know how to finish the ball. All their
Okay,
chances
hold up. They've scored a half of Arsenal's goals, I think,
in one game.
in this one game alone.
Yeah.
That Arsenal scored all season. Sorry, I just looked at 5 and I'm like, holy shit, that's half of 10.
Oh, really?
Guys,
we might have 11 now because of the Southampton game, but
we are so good at math on this podcast. It's unreal.
it's half of 10.
It's half of 10.
All right, back on track.
Continuing.
Yeah, but
track.
going forward.
Track.
Oh, I hate this. No, we're not doing the train thing again. No fucking way we doing this. I'm over
Come
it.
on, just
Did you set it up on purpose, by the way?
I did.
Nice, I knew it.
Yeah, my lord. You see
All
what I
right,
deal with?
let's talk about this game. Here we go. We're back in it.
Back what I was saying.
And, okay, we're good. Here we go.
Going forward, Leeds, every time it seems like they
Just
they
keep
pick
chugging
up
along.
pace. Shut the fuck up. I swear to God. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on.
Just go, Brian. Come on, just.
I'm
say your
trying.
thing.
It's
Say
kind
it.
of tough.
What's taking you so long? Come on. All right. So Leeds are. Good.
You were saying?
What I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by more train jokes. Don't
Go. Just go. Just go.
I feel like once Leeds kind of get the ball from their center backs to their midfielders and they start picking up pace through the midfield, they're basically, at times, they're just unstoppable. They move the ball forward with such speed. They play these 1-2s so quickly that I feel like before the opposing team even really knows what's going on, they're at the top of the box lining up a shot.
Yeah, I think that like you said, they're very good transitioning between defense to midfield to, attack and like creating those chances. And I think they have those kind of players like Jack Harrison and like Stuart Dallas and guys like that that'll just make like charging runs up the midfield and will allow Bamford to run off the defender's side and make runs in. And he gets the first goal of the game.
Yeah, and he this year is another player. I mean, he's a player that kind of stands out. He's a guy that. I mean, obviously, my phone. It's been sitting here the whole time. There's no way.
It was catching. It was picking it up. It's better now.
I claim it
I
up.
promise. Sorry, audio issues.
Bamford, or are you talking Bamford or
Yeah.
Harrison?
Yeah, Bamford. I mean, that's a player who kind of. I mean, I know Leeds wasn't in the league last year, but kind of is taking over. Like when right now, at least for me, when I think of Leeds, the first thing I think of is Bamford just scores everything for them. Like he's like you said,
But
he
it's
sits
funny
on that
because
shoulder and
they
he
brought in a
finishes
striker
his
to
chances.
replace him in the offseason. Like they didn't think he was going to be good enough. Like they brought in Rodrigo to be their striker this year and paid him money to be their striker. And they
Now-
played together in this
Piss
game.
Bamford
They're
off.
playing together, and they're playing with Rafinha too. Is another. I guess he's more of a winger, but he's still like another attacking threat. So it's like Bamford, like we said many times this year, like people wrote him off before. Like they thought his job was gone. Like he had a really good season last year in the championship, but he's deservedly kept his spot, and like who knows if a bigger club's gonna start coming after him soon.
Shout out to them. I think Leeds is a team where we kind of see if you go with like goal by goal in this game where you don't want to let Leeds get a lead on you. That was not on purpose, but that was funny. Sorry.
Oh, I just realized what you said. Fuck off.
Because I think they're a team that can expose you so quick if they catch you in a counter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you could tell at the end of this game, as soon as Newcastle was trying to chase the game, they just took off. I mean, and they break out against you so quick that I think you can't go down early against them because they're gonna tear you apart if you do.
Yeah.
And that's probably a big part of their strategy. We've seen them come out every game like a million miles an hour. Whether or not they score or not is a different story. But they're a team that comes out with energy almost every time you watch them play.
And
Yeah.
that could also, that can also hurt them at times too. They come at a team, who can really weather that storm for the first 5-10 minutes. Right? They could take the pressure, play out of the back, work out of their press that they're doing, and teams can take advantage of that and break that press and come out and score 1 or 2 goals in the first 15 minutes. I feel like for the most part, Leeds they try to press, but there's not that energy. It's not there. But like you said, if they get the first goal, well, then they're like, okay, yeah, press as much. Now you guys press, and we're just going to counter the hell out of it constantly. Again, if they can, with that press, if they can I feel like they just don't have the back line to do that. They don't have that back line where they could throw numbers forward and just be like, okay, now we're pressing them. Now if they counter us, we know our back four could bail us out if they need to. I feel like they just don't have that back there. And that, maybe that comes with more games. Maybe that comes with more time in the Premier League. They get more players in there who have the quality to do that. But I feel like right now they don't, and that kind of forces them to play this style of game where it's, okay, yeah, you guys are going to score on us, but we're going to just try and score more. It's not, we're not going to defend. It's, no, we're just going to go at you and just try and score everything.
Yeah, and to that point, like, I think one of probably their most important players is Calvin Phillips, their center defensive mid.
Yeah.
And, like, he's been out a decent amount of the season. He missed a couple games. Like,
He's their glue guy.
He's their glue. And, like, Brian, to your point, like, he's not the kind of guy that's going to go up and, like, they have plenty of guys who can go forward, create chances, and, make stuff happen in the attacking third. But he's that guy that'll, he's the anchor of the team. He'll get back. He'll make the play. He'll, play from. I think he's like I was saying before. He's one of the reasons why they transition so nicely between defense, midfield, and attack, because he kind of plays a role in all of that.
He's like their pivot point on every end of the ball.
Yeah, and one other thing I was gonna say was I feel like Leeds is one of those teams that if you have like a friend that doesn't like soccer, like, and they saw Leeds play, they'd be like, okay, this is actually kind of fun and exciting because, like we said, like they always bring intensity, they score a lot, and it's just never a dull moment. I feel like
it's a back and forth game. No matter who they play, it seems like it's a back and forth game.
Yeah.
And by the way, Jack Harrison's goal at the end of this game is
sick.
An absolute piss missile.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful shot to make it 5.
That is one of the best terms in all sports.
Yeah, piss missile is a great one.
Missile.
But this goal was great because he had players running around him, and he was just kind of like, you know what?
I got it.
Screw it.
Hey, Brian, who scored before Jack Harrison?
That's right there.
Oh, here we go. Oh, my. Hang on. I can't. Oh, here we go.
I don't know how to say that first name either.
Yeah, no, the last name's Alioski, isn't it?
Alioski, yeah.
Yeah.
Esgian.
Esjan?
Fuck yeah.
So Jack Harrison scored the last one.
That's a tough one to pronounce.
He's in English international, right?
I believe so. Yeah, he's not.
I don't know if he got called up, but
because he went from England, I think, came here to go to school, played soccer here, joined the MLS, and then got called back.
That'd be
because
crazy
he's actually,
if he was
like I said,
here.
he's owned by City because he played for New York City, which is like sort of like a sister team because they're owned by the same people.
It's like a Red Bulls Leipzig, Red Bulls.
It's like a group that kind of
Salzburg.
owns
Yeah,
them.
he's English.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a crazy story. I think we talked about it earlier on in the year. But yeah, so he's really owned by City right now, but loaned out to Leeds at the moment and playing pretty well.
Yeah.
He has some games though where like it just doesn't work for him. Like where he just like everything he does just seems to not work.
Yeah.
But this was not one of them. So.
Moving on.
Surely.
All right, let's move on. Probably one of the most thrilling games of the weekend.
Just in case you guys forget, 5 half at 10.
It is.
We found the title. One of the most thrilling games of the weekend, Fulham and Brighton. 0-0. Thrilling game.
This was a tough one to not watch.
Yeah, I couldn't take my eyes off.
I can't even be. I think I watched the first 8 minutes of this game.
I was so bored.
And was like, wow, this is rough.
I was so bored.
That was 8 minutes more than I watched.
And it's unfortunate because I've liked Fulham recently.
Yeah, they've been playing good.
But it's just this game was not it.
This game sucked. I don't know what to say.
It was equal. We could say that.
But it sucked.
It was equal.
It sucked.
It equally sucked.
I almost fell asleep.
I feel like Brighton, I don't know, man. I felt like they were going to have a decent season, and they just haven't.
I mean, when your striker's out of form, Danny Welbeck. Although he's had a couple good games, so I can't even say that. But
there's just nothing to say about this game. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. We're professionals, guys. We know this. We know you guys rely on us for so much stuff, for all your information. But this game sucked. There's just nothing to say.
One thing I'll say is Lamptey was really good early in the year, but I feel like the last few weeks he's kind of cooled
he's
off.
falling off a little bit.
Yeah, he hasn't been affecting the game as much as he was in the beginning.
No,
and I get it's not easy. The supporting cast isn't obviously incredible. I mean, he's got Lallana in front of him, but
I'm not 100% sure if he's hurt right now. But I know Malpai was like the first 3 games he had 3 goals, and he's done nothing since.
What happened to what's his name? That's all I want to know.
That's a good question.
You know what I'm talking about?
No,
On
idea.
Brighton?
Yeah. The striker, our guy, the one guy, Glenn. Was it Glenn?
Glenn Murray.
Glenn Murray. What happened to Glenn
He's a
Murray?
striker?
Did he retire? I want to know what happened
I'm
to
gonna
Glenn.
Google
Is he on the
Glenn Murray.
bench?
I don't know.
My phone's gonna die. My laptop's dying quick because this new goddamn update.
Glenn was like my favorite guy. Like he was like the everyday man. He would play once in a while, and if you scored, you were like, hell yeah, Glenn.
Way to go, Glenn.
Way to go.
What a first name Glenn is.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was just so easy to root for him.
Yeah.
He plays for Watford now.
Aw, Glenn.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be back in the Prem next year.
He is.
Isn't he like 35 or something? 36.
Striker.
He's
He's
old.
on. He's on loan.
Oh, so he's still owned by Brighton.
Yeah, he's 37.
Okay,
Oh
he's,
my
he's up there.
God.
Yeah. See, like, how do you
How's
not
he doing
root for a
for Watford?
37-year-old guy named Glenn? Like, come on.
Right now on Watford on loan, he has 5 appearances. He's done nothing.
All right.
All right, well, maybe Glenn's a little past his prime. But, you know.
Sorry,
By the way,
Glenn.
guys, that's what you get on this podcast. Full in-depth analysis.
We move on from this game.
So, yeah, things we've come from this game. Fulham didn't keep a hot streak going. Lamptey hasn't done much, and Brighton missed Glenn Murray. Moving on.
Let's go to West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 1. So the goal for
Oh
West
my
Ham was
God.
screw Benteke's goal.
Oh,
Fuck you.
Oh.
Jeez,
This
this is...
goal was beautiful.
we could take an hour podcast talking about how nice this goal was, to be honest
Dude.
with you.
What? It wasn't like, all right, you see, guys, go for bikes or these scissor kicks, or like hits their shin, or like
He hit
takes
that
his way
shit
to
so
flat-
clean.
Oh, it was so nice.
He hit that like a bullet.
It
was
was
a-
so nice.
Piss missile, some may say. And it was just beautiful. There's no other way to describe it, but it was absolutely gorgeous. Like, we're what, about a third? You said third way in?
Yeah, a little bit more.
I mean, if that's not top 3 goal of the year, including the season that has been played yet, if that's not top 3 in the goal of the year,
What if someone scores 3 more nicer bikes?
What if he scores 3 more nicer bucks?
Yeah, right.
then he's player of the year. I don't care. I don't give a shit if he scores 3 more of those. Give him the trophy. I don't give a shit.
I mean, this was a good game. We were actually excited to see this game because it was kind of 2 teams that were finding form. It seemed like they were both middle of the table ish.
Yep.
West Ham
Palace-
was like 6th before this, though. I
Yeah.
think. So they were pushing up there.
I mean, West Ham has had a year.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it more later, but West Ham has had a year. I don't think anyone expected them to be where they are. Let me put it that way.
And their players just seem to be clicking, too. Which I would not have expected from the beginning of the year. I mean, like we said, Bowen, Rice is a mainstay in that team, and he'll, I actually respect Rice a lot because he had a lot of offers from, Chelsea and some other people who were going hard at him in the summer. But he was, a West Ham, through and through kind of guy. Yeah.
Kind of guy.
So it's kind of cool to see that, and they're starting to get the right pieces in there, I think. They bring in Ben Rama is a really good signing. Bowen, like we've said, is a really good signing. Kufal, I don't know if he's new, but wasn't really there last year, I don't think. He's been playing pretty good on outside
He's been
back.
playing great, yeah, as an
Outside back.
Yeah.
The other thing,
Oh.
too,
I can't handle the comments.
the other thing, too, with West Ham is they still have Antonio, who's still hurt. So when he comes back, too, he's only going to make this team stronger.
Yeah, I mean, Allaire's not a bad forward. He's just kind of like a very one-dimensional kind of forward.
Yes.
Like, he needs balls played to him in the air in the box.
Where he can bike.
Where he can bike and
Which-
ridiculously finish. Like I said, I think Antonio offers a little bit more because you can kind of play his pace. More.
And his
Allaire doesn't.
strength. He's
Oh,
so
yeah.
strong.
That's the kind of thing. I mean, what if, I think maybe their best partnership when they're all healthy is Antonio is the guy who starts the game, and then towards the end of the game, say it's a tie game where you need to win this game or you're down 1, then you throw Allaire on there. You take out a midfielder or
So Allaire
defender.
becomes Giroud before Giroud
Pretty
started
much.
starting.
You throw, if you're going to resort to the last 5 minutes, you're down in the game, pump balls into the box.
I know.
You
I
have a
know.
big body in there.
I know. I've seen a lot of people calling for Lanzini to play more, coming back now. I mean, he at one point was a great player for them. I think he's either dealt with injuries or just some issues. I don't know. He hasn't played a lot, but he did come on in this game, so that'd be interesting to see if he gets a start in the next coming weeks or not. Agbana played good today too. Or not today, whatever day this was.
And then on the flip side for Palace, Benteke gets
Oh yeah, that
another
second
one.
yellow was not
Well, I was
smart
saying another goal.
challenge. Oh, I was gonna say red, but yeah.
But
did
yeah,
score
so
two.
he's already on a yellow, ball in the air. He leads with his elbow.
Yeah, that wasn't smart.
I mean, that alone, you get the right ref. I mean, that could be a red just on its own.
They already had the yellow. I think that's why the ref just was like,
I mean,
take it.
yeah, it's stupid. You have to know the situation there. You have to know you're on a yellow. At that point, some refs look for it when a player's on a yellow.
You didn't have to
That's
look
an
far for this
interesting-
one.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. Like, I just thought of it when you said that. If someone's on a yellow and they commit a challenge that would typically be a red card, that would give them a 3-game suspension. Like, is there a way to like cancel out the yellow card beforehand?
You can
and
give a straight red.
Straight red
You don't
even if they're
cancel
on
it.
a yellow?
Yeah, you can just give them a straight red.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense.
I do think a lot of refs though try to be.
Yeah, unless you get that yellow for saying something to the ref, or you're constantly going back and forth with the ref, then they're not looking for it. But if if you have a hard foul in your first yellow and it's like 15 minutes into the game, and you have like you're just late to a challenge, you kind of have a stupid another foul that could be a yellow. I think you're right. I think the ref will be sort of lenient, like I said, unless you're one of those guys who's in the ref's face the entire game.
Yeah.
At that point, if you piss them off,
Like,
enough,
let's
it's
be
probably
honest.
getting
I mean,
out of
refs are humans. They're gonna have not
Good days and bad
favorites,
days.
but there's bias.
there. I'll take
Like if a player pisses you off and he has a bad foul in the next couple seconds, you're not telling me you're thinking a little bit more like that could easily be a yellow, and this guy's kind of pissing me off. Like there's no way they don't have any type of bias. Like I don't care who you are. Every human has bias.
It's happened to me.
Yeah. Dan
The
had
one
some,
ref
Dan had
gave me a
some-
yellow card every time I played a soccer game.
for no reason.
Dan had some bad,
Man, we'll throw the ball and foul throw. That's a yellow.
bad referee relationships. Let's say that.
I'm not a
With that
fan.
with that one guy.
I'm not a fan of him either.
If you're listening, I hate
I
you.
was just about to say. If you're
I'm not,
listening.
I'm not a fan of you either. Actually, I am because you still ref games. So,
But
yikes.
I mean, a point here is probably a fair result. I mean, West Ham probably would have wanted more because of the red, but point's point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Game of the week.
Game
Game of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
the week.
A little bit of controversy. Actually, hold on. A lot of shit storm after this game because of the coaches, but the game itself also had some controversy.
Oh, the coaching shit was
Mourinho
hilarious.
was crying.
That was going to be the most fun to talk about. I can't wait to talk about that.
So the first goal.
Yeah.
Salah, he gets himself into a good area.
As he always seems to do.
Just inside the box. Turns, takes a shot. Would be going on net. That's why he gets the goal for this. Off the defender. Just looping deflection. Hugo Lloris, nothing he could do. He just can watch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's physically nothing he could do. I mean, even if he gets there, it's coming down at such a weird angle. I mean, if anything, he'll be diving back into the net. It's unlucky, but again, when you're a player as good as Salah and you're that much prolific goal scorer, those things just seem to go your way. You know what I mean? I mean, it just happens like that, especially for Liverpool, I feel like, too. Things just seem to go their way, which, again, we'll touch on in the game-winning goal. But, yeah, I mean, luck, skill, he works hard, he deserves it, whatever you want to say. Liverpool got the first goal.
I just want to back up a little bit.
Back up.
Some of the interesting things when these lineups were announced, I thought was kind of cool. Not cool, but interesting talking points here. That Reguilon sees the bench for Davies.
Yep.
Which is
Which-
weird.
Not for nothing, you would think that. I get defending, but like just for a pace-to-pace matchup, you'd kind of
that's a bit
against
odd.
Salah, I would lean Reguilon. But then again, it's hard to counter Spurs because they sit so deep anyway. So I guess you don't really need that much pace on that side. But that's one thing I just thought because Reguilon's had a pretty good season. We've talked about him. He's done great going forward, and I don't know. I thought it was a weird time to switch your lineup. Just my opinion. And Williams for Liverpool. This was his first ever Premier League start. So
You're starting him against Tottenham.
and you're starting him against
Two of the best forwards in the league,
right, the top of the table team at the point of the start of this game. He's played a couple times, I think they said, in like cup games. This is like his third or fourth appearance, but this was his first start for in the Premier League. So a couple interesting points just before the game even started. I thought were interesting to talk about.
Yeah, and I'll just say I think Lloris had a good game too. He had like 9 or 10 saves in the
played
game. So I mean, he's had a pretty decent start to the season so far. But yeah,
Yeah, so So Salah gets that goal. I think it's what?
5 minutes later.
5 minutes later.
7 minutes later.
whatever it
Sorry.
is.
7.
Good at math.
Who other than Son?
Yeah, because
To
who
get
else would score at this point? Come on.
Yet another goal.
He's just so composed in those situations.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of players get too excited and will try to like either rush a shot or like blast it by. But he's like had so much time, made a good run. He was like fraction onside.
Yeah.
And he almost made it look like he was going far post. Like when I was watching it, I'm like saying, I'm thinking, oh, he's probably going far post here. No, he cuts in and
Slots it.
right near post.
Yeah, that was one time where, like, when I saw the camera angle before they put, like, the line on the field, I got to give it to him. I thought he was offside, just,
I
like,
did
looking
as
at
well.
it.
I thought so too.
But, I mean, the angle of the camera is always so hard because it gives you not a direct line view. It gives you, like, an angled view, so it looks like he's off.
Again, I hate getting into these VAR talks.
No, you don't.
I know. But do you think isn't really much on it? Do you think they have a different angle than that? They have to, right?
I don't
Like,
think. I think
see the
that's like.
camera. We see the camera angle not directly in line with the players. We just see the lines, and it's kind of like on an angle. Do they have a different view, or are we seeing what they're saying?
I think we see what
'Cause I
they
know
see.
in other sports, when they go to booth reviews or like the refs go to look at it, they do have other angles they don't show on TV. Do they have other angles? What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
What is he laughing at?
You did this thing where you asked Garrett twice.
I honestly don't know. Was I supposed to was I not looking at him? Is that why?
No, you asked him twice if they have another angle, and then you proceeded to answer your own question
Oh, did I?
twice.
Did they have another angle because? And then you just. And then
Yeah, you did it. I thought it was funny. I'm
Do you,
sorry
guys,
for.
do you guys think they do or no?
I don't think they do.
I don't know.
I feel like if there was another angle, we would see it. I don't like. It'd be weird to hold an angle away from
Like I said,
people.
other sports don't show all the angles that
Yeah.
they do have. That's why I'm asking. Or that's why I'm asking your thoughts on it. So
They don't
I
have a sideline one.
I don't know.
And I mean, and let's talk. We'll talk just the game in general here, apart from the fact that he was on sides. I mean, we could all see he was on sides though. I mean, it was a good
Yeah.
goal. I mean, Liverpool controls 90% of this game, 85% of this game.
Just sit back the entire time. Man.
I mean, they had 11 shots on goal. They had a majority share of the possession.
More threatening team throughout
Right.
the whole game.
Which again, you would expect. Tottenham is pretty committed at this point to saying, listen, we're going to sit as deep as humanly possible and defend, which I get, because that's how they're going to play this year, it seems, which nothing wrong with that, I guess. I mean, they're still in second. I can't be that mad. But here's the problem, is this is going to happen. They get scored on late,
Yeah.
and now you have no time to react at that point. I mean,
Super late,
Controversially.
90th minute.
right, we're going to talk about the controversy in a second,
Got
but
scored
just
on.
from a style of play,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, it's great if you're up 2, but to sit every time, like if it's tied or up 1, just so deep, and then you get scored on late, and then you're like, now you have to be like, well, shit, now we have to change everything we just did for 50 minutes and try to score. And here in this game, you didn't even have the time to do that because this goal was scored so late.
The other thing too, especially in a game like this, yes, Liverpool are a very good team going forward, and maybe sitting back and trying to counter is, you feel like it's gonna work, but I feel like after a while, Liverpool is the kind of team that the more possession they get, the more chances they have going forward, even if they're not scoring, if they're just getting close or they're forcing the keeper to make a save. They're the kind of team where the more chances they get, the more confidence they're going to get. Thinking, okay, they're sitting back and we're starting to break them down. We're just going to keep going. And maybe, the last 10, 15 minutes of the game where normally they would kind of get frustrated and tired of going at a team who's just been defending the whole game, they don't get frustrated. They don't get tired. Their confidence keeps going. They have high confidence. They have high work rate because they know eventually they're going to crack them, which they do here. Again, other teams, maybe you could do that. You can get that goal, sit back. A team like maybe a lower level team like Arsenal.
Good burn, bro.
Thanks, man. But you know what I mean. Like a team who's not really that threatening going forward, they can kind of do that, and they'll break their confidence, and then that team will kind of give up eventually, and then that's when they counter. But a team like Liverpool, you can't just sit back on them. I don't care how good you are at doing it. I don't care how good your counterattacking game is. You can't do it. You're going to give them too much confidence.
I'll just say when Salah and Mane are in their groove and in their zone, there's no stopping them. They'll just run rampant for for days.
And
Yeah.
I would make the argument too that, or on the flip side, I should say, Son and Kane, when they're in their groove, there's no stopping them as well. But if you're
Yeah, but
sitting
their
back,
grooves are a lot less. Where like
Yeah.
You
know,
less time to see it because
less time to see it because
they're not on the
to your
ball.
point, the counterattacking style of play.
yeah, but I mean, if you're sitting back that much, that late in the game, you can't even let them get into any type of groove.
There's one thing I would give. So we put up a TikTok today, talked about how Tottenham, that style of play could help them win a championship this year, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people were like, yeah, but I mean, if Kane and Son get hurt, they have no one. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, true, but tell me what other team you take the two best players off of and then they're still as good. What kind of argument is that?
Like,
That's like saying, hey, yeah, if Mane and Salah are hurt, Liverpool's screwed. Well, it's like, yeah, it's going to hurt them a little bit. No shit.
yeah,
Like, what kind of argument is that? Oh, yeah, if their two best forwards that score all their goals aren't playing, they might not do as well.
I think their point is probably saying like they don't have enough depth on their bench. But I get that, but they probably wouldn't win the title if they're both hurt.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense, but that's kind of not what we're going for here.
Yeah, like,
that wasn't what we were saying.
That's a pretty generic point,
Yeah.
guys.
so do you want to get into this?
Yeah. All right. So let's set the stage here.
Set the stage.
So
I'm, by the way, really off topic. I keep looking at this, and it is just dying. It was at 100% when we started.
oh great.
We're at 38% now.
So we all just stopped talking. We died.
No, I'll sprint upstairs.
The
and get a
computer,
charger.
not us. Let me just.
I will sprint my.
Sorry.
We will not even cut it. I will sprint
And we're
upstairs
dead.
and get a charger.
Let me preface
do
it.
it.
Okay, so let me set the
Okay.
stage for the last goal here. It's a corner kick. It gets played in. You see Firmino rise, heads it. Great finish.
Great header.
Great header.
Great header.
Seems like he's almost unmarked at this time.
Wonder
And
why.
You see the replay, and you see Dyer on the ground, top of right inside the 18, like right towards the top of the 18. And no one really knows why. You don't see it live. You're not looking for it at all. You're just looking for where the ball went. And they don't check anything. They don't check it. They don't announce a VAR check. They don't say it. Game ends. Firmino scores. Game Liverpool. Now, we looked at it before our talk here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think that Liverpool goal to win this game should have counted?
Nope. Oh, you have a synopsis on that, yeah. Yeah, no. So you look at it, and he pretty much gets hip checked. So Henderson's up there. So there's the three Liverpool players, three Tottenham players, and Henderson has no, he has no, like, he's not trying to score here. He knows, like, all right, that's not my job. He literally just goes to set a pick, so to speak, just to knock one of the biggest Tottenham defenders to the ground for pretty much, and so Liverpool get an open header. I think VAR goes back. They should look at that, and they should take it back. He's not playing the ball. He has no intent to play the ball. I think it's kind of bullshit that they didn't even look at it. I think at that point, if you're VAR, you at least go take a look. You call the ref over. And then if you think, okay, maybe he went down easy or maybe it didn't really affect the play, fine. Then you don't call it. But you at least have to go have a look at that. I feel like other games, other teams in other situations, they would. But maybe because it's a last-second winner, I don't know if it's anything to do with it. It shouldn't. But I do think at the very least it should have been looked at. And in my opinion, that goal should have not counted.
Dan?
I don't know. I think there's definitely contact. I watched it back. To me, it didn't seem like much. Yes, it did look like it was a pick, and it probably was some sort of obstruction on the player not being able to make his run. So I definitely do agree it should have been reviewed by VAR. Is there enough in it for me? I don't know. I think there's contact. I understand there's contact, but to me, it looks like he goes down a little bit easy. And it's not just because I'm an Arsenal fan I'm saying this. But yeah, I do think VAR should look at it. It could have potentially been overruled, but for me, I don't know if there's enough in it.
What do you think?
Okay. I mean, I think it's unfortunate that it's that exact what happens at the top of the 18 directly leads to the result of the goal. I think that's unfortunate in this situation because the chain reaction of events is Henderson leans into Dyer, Dyer falls down, loses Williams, who was his mark. Williams makes the run in, so then I'm going to say this wrong, and you guys are going to roast me again because I said it weird the first time. I was literally told it's like a V, so it's like Alderweireld is how I'm
That was
supposed
good.
to
That was
say
pretty
it.
good.
Really good.
Nice,
Thank you.
dude.
Thank you, TikTok comment. So
That's awesome.
okay.
Crush that.
So what happened? So Dyer lost his man. So then Alderweireld has
There it is,
to,
there
has
it
to
is.
then take into account that he has both Williams and Firmino running into the box. He kind of takes 1 or 2 steps back to kind of like at least just feel the body of Williams, like where he is. And that's when Firmino cuts in and gets his wide open header. So like that, so the Henderson pick or check, whatever you want to call it, directly results in that goal. So like I understand, like if you're a Tottenham fan, you are pissed because, and you could see Dyer as soon as that happens and that goal gets scored, his first reaction is straight to the ref.
Yeah.
Like he is arguing with no one else. He is on a beeline to the referee.
You know, I feel like in that situation too, when a player's that, that animated about it, and they're that upset and that convinced, I maybe it's the right thing to do. But I feel like the ref should at least be like, okay, calm down. Hey guys, what'd you see? And go to his mic and ask VAR. Like, is there anything there? Does he have a case here? I mean, you don't do that every time. Obviously, a player comes crying to you, but when it's the 90th minute and you're that convinced, I feel like you at least have to be like, hey, just check this real quick. What'd you say?
Like I mean,
And they don't even look at it.
and
That's the issue. They don't even look at it.
my opinion is just if you're Dyer in that situation, like it's the 95th minute, are you really going to go to the ground with the hope of getting a call instead of just defending the kick?
Exactly.
Some people would.
I mean, my thing is like he's one of their biggest defenders. I mean, he is the one who's going to clear that ball out.
He's not gonna. Yeah, you're right. He's not gonna give.
Like it's not
them
like
any
it's
opportunity.
like I could see if it's like Reguilon who goes down, because like let's be honest, he's not that important in clearing out. Like he's not going to be most of the time the one who wins the ball in the air. But I mean, this is one of their 2 center backs who are most likely going to try to win the ball. I mean,
Yeah. But
so Tottenham fans, you're probably pissed. I'm not going to lie.
even and then after this,
What was your answer?
I think it's a foul.
Yeah.
I could see it's not obvious, which sucks because in real time and like in replay, like I'm sure it doesn't look as when you slow it down. The problem is it looks like Henderson is clearly making like it's not like the ball's already played and then he runs that way to like run into him. It's right before the ball's kicked. He deliberately makes the move to go for the player.
Like I said, they show the overhead view. You can see him stepping with that left foot.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
His shoulder and hip are kind of out immediately. Like he knows what he's doing. But that's the issue. The fact that you just said maybe it's not that obvious. That's the thing. Maybe VAR didn't even try it. Maybe they do look at it for like a half second and they think, oh, that's not because it has to be clear and obvious error by the ref. So maybe they glance at it. I don't know.
And like my thought is like there's no way that's just happening then. Like that has been talked about and that kick has been rehearsed over and over again. Like that's not something that just happens there.
Yeah.
Whether or not Henderson's supposed to make it as clear as he did is one thing. Because like, there's one thing if you stand in the way.
Yeah.
To make the motion towards the player, I think is where it gets fishy.
I was going to say I'm sure that's a very common type of play where
yeah.
players are not grabbing, not doing that, but trying to at least get in the way of some of the other players to open up or free space for someone who has a better chance of actually getting ahead on it. And I just think. I wonder if this were to happen at like a different point in the game, if we would be having this discussion as well. Like if it happened like early on in the game, like
it's like, oh yeah, it's controversial, but not as type of
but
deal.
the fact that it literally lost them the game in the 90th minute is why it's I think such a big talking point. But like I do think there's definitely a case where it could be overturned and it could be a foul. But
Another thing too, even after the game, the drama kind of continued between the 2 coaches.
The post-match comments were incredible.
They were funny. My favorite one was
the main one I think everyone's gonna talk about.
Mourinho. What he mentioned about Klopp. He said,
Maybe not the one I was thinking of. What were you gonna say?
My favorite one was Mourinho mentioned. He said, if I acted the way Klopp acted on the sideline, I would get thrown out immediately. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And honestly,
kind of true.
It's true.
I can see it.
It's so true. He'd be tossed.
Again, back to like bias, human bias. Like,
he's just built up such a reputation.
Yeah.
Klopp's known as that kind of guy that's he gets excited by the fans. He gets animated.
The line between passion and being a dickhead is if you like the person. Literally, that's it.
If they
like,
have
let's
good
be
charisma,
honest.
it really is.
That's the even line. It's
you have really shiny
what were you
teeth.
talking about after the game?
is when Mourinho said the better team should have won.
Oh,
The better team didn't win today.
Yeah.
And like again,
And then Trent put up a picture on Instagram.
Better
saying
team won.
The better team won.
How do you make that? How can you even defend that? How do you make that
Hear me
argument?
out. Like, and I'm not one to say, like, you know, if a team dominates possession, they automatically played better. Because that's not always the case. But there's other stats to look at here. Liverpool had 11 shots on goal and probably had 4 or 5 clear chances where they could have scored more. Like,
Lloris had 9 saves. Yeah, he was busy the whole time.
Yeah,
like-
played great.
let's not pretend like this was a like Tottenham sat deep and Liverpool had 1 or 2 chances and they happened to convert.
Yeah.
Liverpool had 11 chances, legitimate on net chances.
And you got to think too. The 2 that went in, one of them's a looping deflection over the keeper. The other one is a controversial pick play on a corner.
Like they had more clear cut chances that they didn't score on than the 2 goals that were kind of weird in a way or had some type of, you know, interesting situation around them. But Liverpool was the better team in this game. Like I don't think anyone is arguing that
100%.
performance wise.
I
It's
mean-
hard to argue against it. Like
And I said, even those 2 goals don't happen, and say this game ends, it plays out the way it does, but it ends 0-0. But again, the stats show the same thing, and the style of play is the same. Liverpool's still the better team. Whether they won or lost this game, they were the better team.
yeah, in this game they're 100% the better
Yeah.
team.
But that's
I don't know what the hell Mourinho's drinking, but
it's typical Mourinho.
well, right.
That's
Cry,
typical
baby.
Mourinho. But anything else in this game, guys?
No,
I'm
let's
good.
move on.
Yeah, let's move on. We have
Villa
our next, Villa Burnley, a 0-0 game. I don't know how Villa did not win this goddamn game.
There's one player in this team who should just literally go up into an empty goal and shoot 57,000 shots into a net.
And his name is El Ghazi. Mm-hmm. This dude, I think at one point the announcer goes, "Yeah, he's had I just got word he's had 9 chances." Dude couldn't, and he hit
Jeez.
over the net 7 of them. He had 9 clear-cut chances and just bombed them over.
Like, if there's a team to be pissed
This was nuts.
that they didn't win, it's Villa this week.
Yeah, they're furious.
I don't think there's a team that controlled the game more and didn't get a result than Villa.
I will say, watching this game, when Grealish is going, he could do whatever he wants. There was times he was just gliding around the entire Burnley midfield to create chances. Like I said, when he gets going, he can't be stopped. And unfortunately, half the time, El Ghazi was that guy that was open at the end of it, and he
Unfortunately.
not to take away, from Burnley a little bit.
I'm going to take away from Burnley. They didn't even look good. They sucked.
Can I finish talking?
Looked good last week, though.
Sure.
The back line, I feel like, played okay. I mean, yes, they gave a lot of chances, but they threw their body in front of a lot of shots.
Well, they do. I mean,
They blocked a lot of shots. I think me at one point literally
You?
Yes, me.
Okay.
Literally slid like a good 6-7 yards just to get his foot on a shot.
who's on
Yeah,
first?
they would jump in front of a train if they had to.
Yeah. Fuck off.
You said you had to.
You bitch. Oh no. Yeah, but was it? Villa just. What the?
I mean,
you
they
guys
controlled the
had to
game. I mean,
score.
every chance they had, like I said, I mean, I
What was the
can't.
possession of this game? Say.
59
does
to
say.
41.
Yeah, which is not crazy, but if you look at the
Cool.
shots, it's 27-6, and shots on target 7-4. The fact that
that's
they have
not
27 shots and
And you only
7 went
got-
on net, and El
that's not
Ghazi was
good,
probably
guys.
half of them. The one thing I'll say about Grealish is, like, I don't know how he doesn't get a yellow card in this game. There's one time where he got fouled. It was gonna be a free kick, and the player from Burnley kind of picks up the ball, and like Grealish comes up, 2-hand shove straight to the back, shoves the guy over,
Oh, I saw that.
and I don't know. How's that not a yellow? Like, I understand it's their ball, but how is it not a yellow?
There was also a point in this game. I don't know if it was Grealish, but I know Burnley was putting the ball down for a free kick, and they wanted to play quick. Someone on Villa walked over, kicked the ball away. Then somebody picked it up on Villa, started walking away, and then threw it back over the head of the Burnley player. I was like, here you go. I just chucked it.
I mean, let's just say Grealish just had an interesting week with a lot of different situations.
Yeah, you have a car.
Just gonna
You can't drive.
and some other images.
We're not
We're
going
not
to
gonna
talk
talk
about that.
But he's had a hell of a week. Let's
We're
just-
a soccer podcast. We don't.
let's
touch
just
on
put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Burnley barely survive.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah, Villa should win this game, and I think
back-to-back draws.
anyone who watched it.
I think they just live for the draws. I think last year they had a ton of draws too.
Who'd they tie last week?
Arsenal.
No, you lost.
Beat Arsenal.
Oh
last
shit!
week.
Never mind.
You idiot.
Oh, look at me trying to be hopeful. Like, no, it was even worse than I thought.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. The days just.
But I mean,
Roll
the
into one.
takeaways from this game are at times
That was
Kruz can
funny.
do what he wants in the middle,
Still tie a lot.
and Al-Ghazi should not be playing. That dude, or he's got to be every drill he does this week is just shooting only.
Yeah, only finishing.
No
Only
goalies
finishing.
either. No goalies, because he doesn't hit the net anyway. So
It wasn't even like they were like they were just like passed balls to the goalie or 40 feet over. Like there was no in between. It was crazy.
But other than that, I mean, I do know, in this game, I think Villa in the first half alone hit the post like 2 or 3 times. They did, I don't know if El-Ghazi was any of them. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know how this game ended the way it did.
But it did 0-0. Both teams get a point.
Wrap up the week.
Moving on.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right, let's try to keep this under 15 minutes here, huh, Bri?
I got this.
Okay.
I just have so the first goal, I have notes that I wrote down. Just one note.
Yeah.
It says 2 notes actually. Fuck this team and fuck you, Ole. Also, I can't wait for Pogba to leave. Those are my notes.
I didn't think he played that bad this week.
First 10 minutes were like shit. I thought right off the bat, I don't think Henderson should have started. I don't know why they started him.
I'm pretty sure I can go back and find a clip of you telling De Gea shouldn't start and Henderson should somewhere in our last 5 weeks.
I don't think you start a keeper against his former team just in the middle of the week. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem right to me. I mean, ball gets played back to him. He takes too long. Forward comes, takes up his foot. Wide open net for McGoldrick. After that, takes United a little bit to get going. I think Rashford had a few chances, converted on one. The Martial goal, Pogba had a no-look pass to him,
That was nice.
which was
It's
very nice.
Yes.
In the middle,
Good for him to get a goal too.
yeah, he needed that. The big thing is for
The
me
Rashford
with-
finish was filthy, by the way.
Oh, he just put his foot through it.
Yeah, and a great
good.
2 touches to get to that
Yeah.
point to even shoot.
But my issue again with Pogba, like he played better. But the thing is, he still tries to do too much. When he turns the ball over, he just kind of gets annoyed, doesn't track back. I think in this game, Matic played very well. I thought he played very good in the middle of the field defending. And then, the second Rashford goal, great. It was a great play. It started with, I'm pretty sure, with Henderson playing out of the back, and they just worked the ball all up the field. Everyone was involved. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Pogba had it. Takes on 2 players. They just worked the ball up the field. I think the pass from Martial was just kind of a mishit, to be honest with you. Just felt the foot of Rashford. Who's their keeper again, Sheffield?
Ramsdale.
Yeah, he has to save that. He's low to his left. It sneaks right under him. At that point, I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a few more. Every time United went forward, they look threatening, and then a corner comes in. It's inside the 6. It's literally 2 feet from Henderson. He decides not to go. Lindelof heads it off of McGoldrick, and it goes in. My issue with United right now is you can't keep starting games like this. You start.
Seems to be working.
It does, but I mean it's.
Obviously, it's not good. I was just
Yeah, you
pointing it out.
can't do this. I mean, chasing the game is one thing. If you get scored on, right before halftime or in the second half, and then you have to go chase the game. But in the beginning of the game, what happens when they play a team like Liverpool or Tottenham? One of these teams where as soon as they put one away, they can easily get a second one. Right? You don't think of Sheffield this year as an attacking team.
Well, it's Tottenham. Tottenham sits back after they get one for.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't do this. I mean, the same thing happened to them against Leipzig, right? They let up goals, and then when they decided to turn it on, it was too late. At least in this game, they decided to turn it around in the first half. I mean, it's still kind of. I mean, yeah, we're 7th in the table with a game in hand. It's kind of concerning that you struggled against Sheffield.
Who has 1 point?
He was 1 point in the year. It is concerning.
By the way, the second least points through 12 games in like any English division.
That's
ever.
crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
I
I guess
mean-
at some point someone had 0 because they had 1, so they can only be beaten out by one number here.
I'll take the
Look
points.
at us in our math today, man. We're killing it.
Crushing it.
God, we're
I'll,
so good.
I'll take the 3 points. I think United, this is their 9th straight Premier League road win. So that's kind of cool. I'll take that. But it has to be better. Honestly, it really does.
We've talked for an hour and 15 minutes already. Holy shit.
So next week's games?
Yeah, let's get into the
Yeah,
games.
real quick.
All right, I'll try to throw them. Garrett, you do it.
All right. Palace,
Yeah,
Liverpool.
who's first?
Me first, you said? Okay, yeah.
You said who's first?
Actually, you go first because
going
I'm going to
third.
take the next game. Yeah.
I am.
We'll go that way. Snake it.
Palace, Liverpool. I think Liverpool win this game. I think Palace get a goal, but not going to mean much. I think Liverpool win by at least 2.
Southampton City. This is a really good
Interesting
game,
one.
actually.
Game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the good. Honestly, I don't even know. I hope Aguero plays. If he's not healthy,
You say that
we
every
can't
week.
score. I know, and guess what? He hasn't played yet.
He should play.
It's gonna be a tough game. I think it's actually a high-scoring game, to be honest with you. I think it's gonna be like a 3-2. I'm hoping like a 3-2 City win, but it's gonna be crazy to see. Southampton's been deadly this year.
Daniel, Everton, Arsenal.
Everton, at Everton. Don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Everton are a team, like we're saying, they're getting hot now. 2 good wins.
Got hot.
Defense-
Froze cold. Got hot again.
Yeah, defense is playing good at the moment. Haven't let up a goal in 2 games against 2 really good teams. And Arsenal can't score to begin with, so I think it's going to be like, I'll go 2-0 Everton. I literally have no faith in this team. I hope you guys know that.
Well, we know.
I think
You
we've
gave me
seen
the reactions.
The
No
last,
faith.
Last few weeks' predictions have not been good.
No, and have I been wrong? I mean, I did say we were going to lose. We tied this week, so that was good.
There you go. Which one am I doing?
Newcastle, Fulham. Yeah.
Newcastle, Fulham. I mean, I think Newcastle at home take this game slightly easily. I mean, they've looked okay lately, so I think they win this one. At home, yeah.
Okay, Brighton Sheffield, a game that we're all 100% going to watch. I think
At 7 a.m.
unless
Yeah.
Glenn Murray comes back for Brighton off alone, I think.
call.
I think Brighton's probably going to win.
No, Sheffield.
I think it's just going to be a 0-0 tie, to be honest with you.
All right. Dan,
Probably game of the week, right?
Tottenham, Leicester.
We think?
Yeah.
What's Monday?
It's close. This is a close one, too.
What's
I
Monday?
think.
What's Monday?
Chelsea, West Ham.
Yeah, it's a close one,
What's
too.
Monday's game?
I think
These
Tottenham.
are Monday's games. Read the freaking
I
day.
think Tottenham
shit.
Leicester is a better one though, but
What am I-
they're both good games. I think I don't know. This is a really interesting game just because of the way that Leicester City plays and the way that Tottenham plays.
Maybe the ball just sit in the middle of the field and no one's going to
Yeah,
touch
that's what I'm
it.
saying. I mean, Leicester can counterattack if Tottenham are sitting back. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna say a 1-1 tie. I think it'll be an interesting game.
Oh, am I up next? No, you're up next.
No, I'm next.
Yeah, so why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just looking.
Don't give me that
See if
freaking
you get a
look.
reaction.
See if I can get a reaction.
Yeah, I was just see what your reaction was to that comment.
Out of what?
I don't know. I want to see what your reaction was to
What
the
was I supposed to
comments.
react to?
I don't know.
Great
I
prediction,
wanted to
Dan.
see
Great
if you
prediction.
had anything else to add. You done? No, wait. We have 16% battery here.
Okay, go.
Man U and Leeds. What is this? The
I knew it was coming.
rivalry of the roses? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong
Pretty
person,
sure that's what
man.
they call it.
anyone knows,
the roses
you would know
rivalry.
it.
Rivalry of the roses.
As much as I
that's what they call
follow
it.
up on Man U Leeds rivalries,
Yeah, apparently, like back in the day, this was a big one when Leeds were a mainstay in the Premier League. I think neither team can defend. I think if United's front three between Rashford, Greenwood, and Martial decide to show up, I think this can actually be a fun game. I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game. I think United. It's tough. We're at home. We suck at home. I'm gonna go 3-3.
okay. We
I hope so. That'd be
awesome.
fun.
That'd be I need a good game to
Yeah, I
watch.
think it's gonna be 3-3.
West Brom Villa. After this week, I think Villa needs to just freaking score because if they can't, they're never
Guys,
gonna
he should
win.
not be in the team.
He'll be in the game anyway. He's probably one of their better players, unfortunately
sucks.
for them. Watkins also needs to fill a drought that he's been on. So I think Villa wins 3-1.
Nice. Daniel, Burnley, Wolves.
I think Wolves win this 2-1.
Nice. Love it. Short, sweet. Brian, finish it off.
Chelsea, West Ham, very good game. Oh, shit. I don't know, guys. That's tough. I think it's going to be 1-1.
Okay.
Good game, though. Very
Okay.
interested to watch that one.
We thought for a long time, and we're short on battery, but we're going to do a real quick
Yeah,
segment.
while we're at 50% battery,
we're-
squeeze this one in there, fellas.
So we're a third of the way through the year. We've seen kind of what each team can do this year. We're going to talk about not the players. We're going to talk about the managers. Up until this point of the season, who would be your pick for manager of the year? Whoever wants to go first.
Hasenhüttl from Southampton. I think they've had such a great start to the season. I think there's a case to be, a couple managers, but he's the one that comes to mind for me. Like I think he's been here for 2-3 years now. He's slowly building his team. The partnership between Ings and Che Adams is looking stronger than ever. Ward-Prowse is playing good. The defense is. They actually look like they have a game plan every time they go out and play, and they just always seem like a solid team. And even watching them play against Arsenal, they were the better of the two teams at the Emirates Stadium. Granted, they were up a man for the good part of the second half, but to me, I think it's him. And obviously, there's some other contenders up there too, but I'm going with Ralph. Good old Ralph.
Brian?
I'm between two. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I think my pick for manager is Moyes from West Ham. I think it's another team that's pretty much exceeded any expectation that they had so far this year. They've pretty much been in every game against no matter who they're playing. They've pulled out some good wins, close games. They've tied competition that they maybe shouldn't have tied. They pulled a tie against Tottenham. They pulled a tie against City. I mean, it seems like a team that's going to fight and a team that's kind of built some chemistry this year with some good young talent. I think they're going to be a little scary this year for any team they face. But I think Moyes has done a good job of kind of rounding this team together as a cohesive unit. And I think they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I was between two. I think I'm going to go with Frank Lampard as the manager so far for Chelsea. I think he's made some very good signings. I think he did a very good job of kind of shoring up that back line. He went out, he got a keeper to replace Kepa, who was awful. I think defensively, they've had a good amount of clean sheets this year, partly due to Kepa, partly due to the backs. I think the outside backs. What?
Mendy.
I'm sorry, Mendy. I think the outside backs of Chilwell and James, are deadly going forward. They need to be. I said the signings have shown up. Giroud's kind of found his form. I don't know if that's to do with playing at Chelsea or playing internationally, but I just think what he's doing, what he's building, he's got young players. He's has that mix of young players and those veteran players with Giroud and Silva. I just kind of like what he's building there, and I think they really do have a chance to push for the title this year.
All right, fair game. Funny, none of us picked any of the teams at the top of the table. But that's our podcast this week. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Follow us on social.
Yeah, watching if you're on YouTube. All the words are hard.
What was that?
All the socials are at League Pints.
Correct.
YouTube, Premier League and Pints, for listening to this on whatever podcast thing you would like to listen to it on. Go watch it if you want.
Check us out on Twitter and TikTok. Boom. Have a great night, morning, day, wherever you're from. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Later.